With Senator Dave Senjem. Sitting with us now is State Senator Dave Senjem. Dave, how are you?
Just fine. A little warm, but that's summer in Minnesota.
Now we had
we're used to it by now.
We had Mike McFadden on yesterday. He is running for the U.S. Senate, quite the office, and he was wearing shorts.
Yeah,
you're wearing pants.
I thought about that. I think I'm a little out of style.
Or he just wears the pants at the Capitol.
Yeah, you sort of act a little senatorial, but maybe not today. I think I think made a bad decision.
I think it's allowed to do casual Wednesdays, I guess.
Casual Wednesday, that works for me.
Now, we've talked a lot in the show so far with our fair guests from the state legislature about the special session, the unsession, and all the taxes that the governor is not going to get rid of in the special. Let's go. Let's talk about something different with you. What is the? I will take that out of your way for you.
No problem.
What is the role of the Republicans in the state Senate, now back in the minority, for the remainder of Mark Dayton's term and then going into, well, for the rest of your term in the Senate? What do you guys do? You've got no election coming up anytime soon. What's your role as the caucus?
Well, I think it's to do what I'm doing right now, and that's hold this microphone and do as best we can to get the message out with respect to the perils of a one-party if you will, not even a democracy, a one-party directive that we have at the state capitol, which I think people ought to be concerned about.
All right. Now, we had John Cooney on with Americans for Prosperity. Was that last week, Ben?
Yes.
Yeah, with their scorecard. And you, as a Republican senator, did not do so well in that. Was it the tax bill?
The omnibus tax bill.
That hurt you the most.
Yeah. No, there's no question about it. And that's... for me personally, that's a good and a bad. The good within it, certainly Destination Medical Center in Rochester, and that was the prompter to do what I had to do on that bill.
But you have a history with the Mayo?
I have 44 years. But above and beyond that, the tax bill was simply the worst that the state's probably ever seen.
But now there's some people that's saying that because you voted for that omnibus tax bill, that if you were to run again, that they would try to at least make people in your district aware of that. Would a vote like this, was this because you don't plan on running again?
No, absolutely not. No, I plan on running again. I think there's no question in Rochester, Minnesota, and our area of the state, there's no question about that vote.
They're going to be okay with that?
Well, we'll see. Time comes. But I'll tell you what, back home, there's an awful lot of support for keeping Mayo and the flagship in Rochester, Minnesota, and that was what that particular question was all about.
What is this Destination Medical Center going to do for Rochester?
Tremendous investments by Mayo. Mayo's going to put forth literally $3.5 billion, cause another $2 billion to occur of private sector money, capitalism as we call it, and that's good. Above and beyond that, we're going to add in the neighborhood of 30,000 new employees to Rochester. This is probably the biggest economic development program ever to hit the state of Minnesota. And I'm just driving around thinking today, I don't know of any other business in Minnesota right now that has committed to stay in Minnesota and to grow in Minnesota. And to have one like this to go forward with this kind of initiative in this magnanimous sort of way, I think is pretty special.
Now, Siri is going to school to be a nurse.
Yes.
Can you get her a job down there?
I think we could probably work on that.
All right.
I think she'd qualify.
Speaking of government helping businesses stay in Minnesota, the Vikings are going to be staying in Minnesota thanks to building the new Viking Stadium, but it's gotten a little bit of a hitch. The state is now the state sports board is now investigating the finances of the Wilf family to make sure that they can make up for their end. You have recently been on record saying that we should do the same to the state's end to make sure that the state's financing also holds up.
Yeah, I don't think anything. There's no question about it in my mind. And by the way, I was a Racino advocate. Had we gone that direction, you can like it or not, but we wouldn't be talking about Viking financing right now. That would have been taken care of. But as it is, you all know about the pull tabs. Everything that the governor has proposed relative to, making this Viking Stadium go from the standpoint of paying off debt service on bonds, has sort of fell flat, maybe with the exception of his this one-time floor stocking fee on cigarettes, which is supposed to pick up $30 million, but that's okay. If it does, that's 1 year. There's a lot more debt service to pay on this, and there's frankly nothing that I see relative to anything that we have done that pays for that. So I call time out, if you will. will, the other day at a fiscal policy committee meeting and say, we need to look at this. This is, we don't want the sports commission to jump off the cliff on this and issue these bonds, and we're sitting back here and saying, well, now what? What are we going to do?
If none of the taxing gimmicks work, the money for the Viking Stadium comes out of the general fund.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah, and that's not.
The governor said that wasn't going to happen, right?
Well, I think we all thought it wasn't going to happen. Yeah. The pull tabs were supposed to make 3 times the money. And you can go back and you can look
times,
at.
I think it was 20 times the money.
Yeah, you can go back and look at, frankly, all the videos on the state website, and you can hear that testimony. Well, it didn't make 3 times the money. Made about it. I don't know if it made 10%, maybe 5%.
I think it was 5%.
After the 2 years of Republican control in the House and the Senate, now that the DFL has every lever of power in St. Paul, do you think, as I do, that they've overreached? We've got $2.1 billion in new taxes.
Yeah.
I think they're out of control.
There's no question about it. This one-party system that we have is just absolutely doesn't work for the good and welfare of the state of Minnesota. It just doesn't. We're way overspending. We've got, frankly, a budget we enacted in 2011, which carried forward and, by the way, left us with a $600 million surplus. We did not need to tax an additional $2.2 billion more to, kind of make the state healthy. The state was healthy going forward. It may be coming unhealthy now.
I think so. Given those 2 years of Republican control was short-lived, and I think, as you just said, fruitful. Do you think our side, Republican side, conservative side, could have reached a little more? Could have done a little more. Specifically, I got a question when I said on the air I was having you on today. I got questions about putting right to work on the ballot, that kind of thing. Could we have done more in that area?
Possibly, we'd had a bloodbath at the Capitol. I don't know how that would have worked. We had massive money coming into Minnesota, opposing our candidates. We had enough anyway, millions of dollars. It's really hard to say. All one can do is prognosticate. I think it would have probably hurt us politically from the standpoint of, the Republicans are creating this mess, 10,000 people in front of, the Wisconsin scenario. In the end, it might have been the right thing to do.
Yeah, and, given how voter ID, which I thought was a slam dunk, went down, I don't know what last year would look like with right to work on the ballot. Speaking of unions, the DFL has managed to pay back their union cronies with the child care unionization. Do you think that is set in stone?
I hope not. I mean, I hope that we as a party and as individuals do everything we can to defeat this and work with our daycare providers in defeating this election. I just hope that that's not the case. But above and beyond that, not only daycare workers, but the salary increases and so on that were given to the union workers, the pension upgrades and things like that. It was a landslide year for.
Sure.
Well, the governor is asking, as a part of his unsession, he's asking state employees what they would recommend to cut their budgets. Do you think any of them would suggest maybe there's too many state employees?
I think he's a year late. Why do you ramp it up and then now we got to cut back? I mean, in a way it's the governor, and that's who he is, and he's very unpredictable. One thing one day, another thing another day, and
does not remember saying that or reading that.
Yeah, we're unfit to govern. Well, what about him? And I had my druthers of that last year as we were in the majority. I thought we were pretty fit to govern, frankly.
Final question. I agree with you. Final question, Senator Senjem. Who's your favorite in the gover's race?
Oh, my. I got way too many friends. Way too many friends.
We ask tough questions here.
They're all wonderful. And our problem, of course, is we work with each one of these individuals on a very personal basis, or friends, or family friends, and so on. So, this is going to be tough. But the important thing is we win, and not only in the House of Representatives, but certainly taking this governor's suite back, and then in 2016 we're going to do something about the Minnesota Senate.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, State Senator Dave Senjem.